Welcome to the Nerdjacker's Vault. Today, we're diving into one of the most influential books ever written on strategy, The Art of War by the ancient Chinese military strategist Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu's masterpiece is short, but its message is powerful. War isn't a game of guesswork or pride. It decides the fate of nations. If you must fight, you must do so with a clear purpose, careful calculation, and the ability to adapt as the situation changes. The art here isn't about loving conflict, but about controlling it, so a state doesn't bleed itself dry. The book opens with 5 key factors for success. First is moral law. Do the people believe in their leader, willing to follow them through thick and thin? Next are heaven and earth, timing, seasons, terrain, and distance. Then the commander, their wisdom, sincerity, courage, and discipline. And finally, method and discipline, the army's organization, ranks, and control over expenses. Sun Tzu argues that victory isn't about luck. It's the result of being stronger in these fundamentals. A general who calculates these factors wins. One who doesn't loses. From there, we get to the principle everyone remembers. All warfare is based on deception. If you're strong, look weak. If you're ready, seem unprepared. If you're close, appear far away. Lure your enemy with bait, pretend to be in chaos, and then strike when they're off balance. The real goal isn't just to lie, but to control what your enemy believes. If you shape their beliefs, you shape the entire battlefield itself. Sun Tzu then brings it all down to resources. War is incredibly expensive. A long campaign drains the treasury, dulls weapons, and crushes morale. So, the key is speed. A brilliant general doesn't drag things out. They end the conflict quickly. They live off the enemy as much as possible, capturing supplies and even using captured soldiers to strengthen their own forces. The goal is always a fast and swift victory, not a prolonged struggle that ruins your own country, even if you technically win in the end. This leads to the book's most famous ideal. The best victory is one where you don't have to fight at all. Supreme excellence is breaking the enemy's resistance without a single clash. This means defeating their strategy first, disrupt their plans, break their alliances, and isolate their forces. A full-blown siege is the worst option, a waste of time and lives. A great commander wins without throwing bodies at walls. They also understand the essentials for victory, knowing when to fight and when not to, managing different-sized forces, and most importantly, knowing both yourself and your enemy. As the famous line goes, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear 100 battles. A skilled fighter first makes themselves unbeatable, then waits for the enemy to make a mistake. True skill is winning with ease, not with dramatic, bloody battles. It's about creating the conditions for victory before the fighting even begins. Then, when you do strike, you use what Sun Tzu calls energy. You use direct tactics to engage and indirect tactics to win, combining them in endless variations. You create momentum, like a boulder rolling downhill, hitting the enemy with concentrated force at just the right moment. The clever commander is like water. They have no fixed shape. They avoid the enemy's strengths and strike at their weaknesses. They force the enemy to react, dividing their forces while keeping their own concentrated. This adaptability is crucial because warfare has no constant conditions. You must know the terrain, use local guides, and understand your soldiers' psychology. A leader must treat their troops with humanity, but enforce strict discipline. In desperate situations, when there's no escape, soldiers will fight with incredible ferocity. But even with all this talk of strategy, Sun Tzu ends with a heavy caution. No ruler should go to war out of anger, and no general should fight out of spite. A destroyed kingdom cannot be restored, and the dead cannot be brought back to life. A wise leader is cautious. The final piece of the puzzle is intelligence. Sun Tzu says foreknowledge doesn't come from spirits or guesswork. It comes from spies. He describes different types of agents, emphasizing that this network is the nervous system of an army. Without good intelligence, you're just spending lives and treasure blindly. So the art of war is less a manual for bloodshed and more a guide to avoiding waste. Its timeless wisdom teaches that true victory comes from preparation, adaptability, deception, and above all, knowledge. The greatest general wins before the battle even starts. Our summary ends here. Thanks for joining us at the Vault, and be sure to subscribe for more deep dives.